For years, the masses have been trapped in a comfortable illusion, believing console generations move in predictable, safe upgrades. Higher resolution, faster loading, shinier reflections, same rules, different box. That cycle is dead. While the mainstream timeline keeps arguing about remasters and frame rate patches, Sony has been executing a silent reset. No flashy teasers, no overhyped reveals, no rushed announcements. Just infrastructure, patents, architecture, and long-term control. PlayStation 6 is not being designed as a console. It is being built as a platform lock. This is the part most people miss. The elite understand that Sony never chases trends. They wait for the moment to redefine them. The PS2 dominated with discs. The PS4 dominated with ecosystems. The PS5 normalized SSD-first design. PS6 is about something deeper. Control over how games are made, streamed, owned, simulated, and remembered. This is no longer about plastic hardware under your TV. This is about who owns the future meta of interactive reality. Don't follow the crowd. Follow the aura. The internet loves spec sheets because numbers feel safe. Teraflops, cores, clocks, benchmarks, easy comparisons for the masses. But raw power is not the real weapon anymore. Sony already won the SSD war.
Stand ready for my arrival, worm. I'm Dave Newell. Just me, Dave Newell.
PlayStation 6 will finish it. Industry chatter, patent filings, and developer signals all point to one direction: unified memory systems, near-zero latency storage pipelines, and AI-assisted asset streaming baked directly into silicon. Not as a feature, but as the baseline. This means no more fake open worlds. No more corridor loading disguised as elevators. No more design compromises for legacy hardware. PS6 is expected to treat storage as active memory, not passive space. Assets do not load, they exist. Worlds are no longer stitched together, they persist. This is why Sony keeps talking about custom silicon partnerships instead of off-the-shelf chips. Because the goal is not brute force, the goal is orchestration. The masses will ask, is it more powerful than a PC? The elite will ask, does the system remove limits developers used to accept? That is the real flex. Here's where the conversation gets uncomfortable, and where the meta shifts. PlayStation 6 is being built for AI-native gaming, not chatbots, not gimmicks, system-level intelligence. Sony has already confirmed long-term investment in machine learning for animation blending, NPC behavior, and procedural world logic. PS6 is where those experiments stop being optional. Imagine NPCs that remember previous play sessions, enemies that adapt tactics instead of repeating patterns, world economies that respond to player behavior instead of scripted triggers. This is not science fiction. This is a natural evolution once compute, storage, and inference sit on the same pipeline. The masses will complain that games feel harder, less predictable, less forgiving. The elite will realize they are finally playing worlds instead of scripts. This is the moment where single-player and multiplayer logic begins to blur. Not because of online requirements, but because the simulation itself becomes dynamic. That is the PS6 promise. Not prettier games, smarter worlds. Don't follow the crowd, follow the aura. Here is the move most people underestimate: preservation. Sony understands something the industry avoids admitting. Games are cultural artifacts, and losing them breaks trust. PlayStation 6 is expected to expand backward compatibility, not as a bonus, but as a strategy. Internal emulation layers, AI upscaling, and system-level optimization open the door for older generations to live again, not as museum pieces, as upgraded experiences. This is where Sony separates itself from the competition. Instead of selling nostalgia, they sell continuity. Your library becomes an evolving vault. Your progress carries forward. Your history matters. The masses still trade discs and accounts. The elite build digital legacy. This is not about convenience. It is about ecosystem gravity. Once you are locked in, leaving feels like erasing a part of yourself. Cloud gaming was sold as a replacement. It failed because it misunderstood players. Sony knows this. PlayStation 6 will not replace hardware with the cloud. It will fuse them.
We've been working on some seriously cool gaming tech with Sony, and I couldn't think of a better person to walk us through it than my good friend, Mark Cerny. Mark, thank you so much for coming out to Austin.
My pleasure.
I've asked Mark to join me to pop open the box and give you a peek at some of the gaming breakthroughs we've been working on together behind the scenes.
Yes, we've been busy, that's for sure. So today it seemed like it might be fun to share a bit about the brand new technologies being developed, starting with our collaboration under Project Amethyst to create the machine learning technologies of the future.
And what came out of it is something we're calling neural arrays. Here's the idea. Instead of having a bunch of compute units all working on their own, we built a way for them to team up, to actually share data and process things together like a single focused AI engine. Now, we're not linking the entire GPU into one mega unit. That'll be a cable management nightmare.
With current GPUs, including the ones in PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro, we have something called DCC, or Delta Color Compression.
We call it universal compression. It's a system that evaluates every piece of data headed to memory, not just textures, and compresses it whenever possible. Only the essential bytes are sent out, which dramatically reduces memory bandwidth usage. That means the GPU can deliver more detail, higher frame rates, and greater efficiency.
Here too, I'm really looking forward to what improvements universal compression will bring, and to what degree the effective bandwidth of the GPU will exceed its paper spec. There's a multitude of benefits from this, including lower power consumption, higher fidelity assets, and perhaps most importantly, the synergies that universal compression has with neural arrays and radiance cores, as we work to deliver the best possible experiences to gamers.
Local compute for latency-critical gameplay. Cloud compute for scale, simulation, and persistence. Think larger worlds without local limits. Think shared events that do not require full multiplayer. Think AI systems trained globally, but executed locally. This hybrid model is the future meta, not streaming games like videos, but extending them beyond the box. The masses argue console versus cloud. The elite see that the war already ended. The winner is whoever blends both without breaking immersion. Sony is patient enough to do exactly that. Don't follow the crowd, follow the aura. Sony is not rushing PlayStation 6, and that is intentional. The PS5 life cycle still has runway, exclusives, and adoption curve left. But behind the scenes, developers are already thinking past it. Engines are evolving, asset pipelines are changing, player expectations are rising. PS6 arrives when the industry is tired of half measures, tired of cross-gen compromises, tired of games designed around weakest hardware. This is why insiders keep pointing to the late decade window. Not because of supply chains, but because of readiness. The tech needs time. The audience needs frustration. The market needs pressure. That is when resets work. PlayStation has always been about identity. PS1 was rebellion. PS2 was dominance. PS3 was ambition. PS4 was recovery. PS5 was foundation. PS6 is legacy. Sony is no longer competing just on games. They are competing on meaning. Who are you as a player? Where do your memories live? What worlds shaped you? The masses buy hardware. The elite buy into timelines. This is why PlayStation exclusives still matter. Not because of graphics, but because they define tone, pacing, and emotional memory. PS6 is the console that cements that philosophy permanently. PlayStation 6 is not announced yet, and that silence is the loudest signal. No leaks, no rushed reveals, no panic responses. Just infrastructure being built quietly, patiently, deliberately. The masses will wake up when the trailer drops. The elite already feel the shift. This is not the next console. This is the next rule set. The crowd waits for confirmation. The elite recognize patterns. Don't follow the crowd. Follow the aura.